Welcome to Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar here on STL Sports Central. All content provided by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Boots are on the ground all around the United States here at STL Sports Central. Joe Roderick has you covered at SEC Media Days. I'm in St. Augustine, Florida, but soon we'll be in Phoenix, Arizona when the Cardinals exit the break and enter the second half. And, of course, we have two All-Star representatives in St. Louis, both named Brendan. One Donovan that will be on the field, one in the press box in Brendan Schaefer, so be sure to follow along all his coverage here on STL Sports Central. There's a whole lot to talk about, beginning with the draft. Round one was yesterday. The Cardinals have been praised for their picks. They had assessed what they needed. They addressed what they needed with the fifth overall pick in the left-hander Liam Doyle out of the University of Tennessee. We know Tony Vitello is from St. Louis, but hopefully that connection will bring a lot of wins for the lefty and a Cardinals team that is really the only team in this division that doesn't have a stud starting pitcher that can sustain triple digits on the fastball.
And with that being said, I mean, we have seen, you go back and you look, and if you go look at like the number one picks in the draft from recent years, and you see how quickly elevated these guys are getting to the big leagues, like we kind of have to have that expectation from college guys that are also going in the top five, right? Like this is a guy who it's not a guy this isn't Ethan Holiday or the Wiltz kid that was drafted number one overall, like coming out of high school. These are guys that have played through college, and we see now how the college game really seems to have been elevated over the past couple years with how ready those guys are for the big league, especially the pitchers. The pitchers seem to be a tick ahead of the hitters on the college side. If you are this highly touted, if you pitched SEC baseball, College World Series level baseball, and you were at the top of your game and you're a number 5 pick, like, not to throw more pressure on the kid, but this is like, I want to see that arm at Busch Stadium in 26. Like, that is, I mean, I don't know if I don't think I'm being unfair in asking for that.
I think you're right about this on the pitching side. I know a lot of people have compared the SEC and compared Division I college baseball to AA. And I think that is accurate with regards to pitching, because pitching's the same pretty much no matter where you go. The baseballs are different, but either you know how to pitch or you don't. Offensively, I don't agree with that point. I don't think that the college game is the same as AA pitching, because every single pitcher at AA is the best pitcher on any team they've ever been on. You can hit the Sunday evening starter or the Sunday day game starter or the midweek starters at the college level, and it could mislead people into believing you're a better hitter than you are. It really goes down to who are you facing on Friday and Saturday nights? What kind of pitchers are they? And I think that's more telling of who you are as an offensive player. That's why I love this pick here for the Cardinals. They needed a pitcher. They went and got one.
And to add on to your thing about the hitting too, aluminum bats, metal bats are a lot more forgiving than wood. You can fist a ball and you can fist a blooper and over the infield's head with a metal bat. With a wood bat, I mean, that thing is just in splinters all over the infield. So, the numbers will fool you a little bit on something like that.
And it's shocking to see major league players have to time up 102 miles an hour. Now you have 17, 18, 19-year-olds trying to time up the same velocity. And one of the players that I used to talk to a lot in Amarillo when he was with me in AA, his name's Tristan English. He made his major league debut last week. He said, metal bats are the great equalizer, but I hated them as a hitter. I wanted to get to wood bats. I understand that that's a whole lot of money. We know that wood can snap, but the best players can adjust relatively quickly. Now, take a look the last couple of years at those first 2 or 3 pitchers taken. They're making it up through the ranks a lot quicker than the bats are. Charlie Condon still at high A or moved up to AA for the Rockies. You look at Jack Caglione, yeah, he's made it to the majors, but struggling mightily offensively. Dylan Cruz was struggling offensively. Paul Skeens has not missed a beat. Chase Burns struggled a little bit, but has shown glimmers. I think taking a pitcher here really shows an organizational shift, and the Cardinals have sort of shown their hand. Hey, we need starting pitching. We're going to go get starting pitching, and we're going to go get swing and miss, which is something this rotation desperately needs.
Hopefully by next year they find a spot for him in the rotation, because that seems to be something that's very difficult with this year's stellar pitching staff is going down and finding room for some guys in AAA. There's just too many arms up here in the big league level from what we've been told, and there's no room for people like a Michael McGreevy to pitch at the big league level. Here's hoping that changes in the next 12 months.
Well, let's play devil's advocate here and maybe take a look, fast forward to 2026. Let's say Doyle does make a start in September or in August, if he can really move through the ranks. What does that rotation look like? Right now, it's probably Gray 1, Liberatore 2. You don't know what to do with Palante. You have McGreevy. You also have Quinn Matthews. And then if Doyle's in the mix, that's 6 guys really competing. Oh, and by the way, Takeo Roby's still there as well. A lot of mouths to feed.
Jerpy in 27 when he recovers from Tommy John. So you have arms in place, and you have highly drafted arms in place with a lot of those names that you just mentioned. Nobody that's surprising you and coming out of nowhere. So it's good. I mean, that's, I know the old adage was to draft bats and go out and sign arms, but I think we are seeing maybe a shift in that now over the past few years.
Well, you can look at one team for certain that has done that. That's the Seattle Mariners. They might win every single game 1-0 with the rotation they're building. Brian Wu, Gilbert. You have Emerson Hancock that struggled at AAA and then a little bit in the major leagues, but he is waiting to really break out. If you can have good pitching, you're going to win games, especially with an offense that isn't necessarily built to hit the home run ball. Yeah. A team like the Cardinals needs a starting pitcher that can get them 6 innings and keep it under 3 runs. Just have quality starts. That's how the Cardinals are going to win moving forward. And I really love the way that they approach this. They've really addressed some needs. I like their second pick as well at 55. Probably not going to be a shortstop at the next level, but they're malleable players. They can play any position.
Yeah, and a guy, again, all these guys too, it's a high school kid, but it is somebody that has played a lot of baseball at a very high level of baseball. So you know what you're getting. And then, you go back to Tennessee with the third kid too. So somebody must have seen something they liked out of that Tennessee Volunteers team this past year.
They won the national championship just 2 years ago. So certainly a great connection. Vitello from St. Louis, and maybe he can bring some good tidings to the Cardinals with some of his pieces that have helped him be so successful over the last 5-6 years. Yep. But this is Card Central 365, powered by Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. He's Joe Roderick. I'm Stefan Caray. It is a Monday afternoon with no baseball for the Cardinals. It is All-Star Week. We are going to see the Home Run Derby tonight. Matt Olson is probably very tired after a couple of rain delays yesterday at Busch Stadium. This is going to be a really fun derby. A lot of different names than what we're used to seeing. Pete Alonso decided to sit out this year, but one name really stands out more than the others to me, and it's Cal Raleigh. His ability to hit from both sides of the plate, I think, is really going to help him in this competition.
The big dumper, 38 home runs, the most home runs of anybody competing in the home run derby since Barry Bonds back in 2001. He had 39 going in to the home run derby that year. Cal Raleigh has 38. A few years ago, when the All-Star game was in Seattle, I'm drawing a blank now. The catcher for the Orioles,
Adley Rutschman.
Yes, Adley Rutschman competed in the home run derby there, a switch hitter. And he did the entire round. I believe he did the entire round right-handed, tied and did it, or had his bonus round, turned around and did his bonus round left-handed in that. So that's whenever you get these guys in there for that, when you get that, I haven't seen the breakdown, the splits of what Cal Raleigh has more power, what side he has more power from. But that's something that's fun to watch when you see that they have to make those decisions on the fly with that. Matt Olson right now probably has to be a little upset with Ronald Acuna because Acuna initially was in the home run derby and he was going to be that Atlanta representative. You need to have somebody from the hometown in there represented for the hometown fans. And Acuna has a bad back. He wants to play in the game tomorrow. So Matt Olson stepped in and did it. Matt Olson, the only veteran of the home run derby. All other 7 guys, it's their first time. Matt Olson was in the home run derby in Colorado, And that year, so that was that 21? No, 20. Yeah, that was 2021. The home run derby was in Colorado. They put the auxiliary press box that year in right field. So they have the tall fence in right field where the scoreboard's on there. They put the auxiliary press box in those seats above that wall. I think after watching a few of the practice ones, all of the writers took their laptops, put it back in their book bag, and they went and they just kind of sat there. There were a few people too that once they saw it was there, also during the day, I think went to like Walmart and you saw a few gloves in the media area too. So Matt Olson hit a ball. It was like his second or third home run in his first round. I'm sitting there right there at me. And I sat there the whole time and I was tracking it. And at the last second, I was like, nope, not doing it. It hit the back of the seat next to me and ricocheted all the way back into the field. That's how hard he hit it.
No broken hands for Joe Roderick.
Yeah, that was.
You need to go back and lie about that story and tell your son that you caught it, so he'll listen to you more out on the baseball diamond.
I don't know if it was Olsen that hit it, but it was one of the lefties that was in there. It wasn't Ohtani, but there's a video out there. Ben Boyd has the video. He tweeted it out when it happened. Somebody was reaching over the railings into like the walkway to get into the concourse and flipped over into it out there too. It was a dangerous home run derby in Colorado that year.
Well, it's going to be a wonderful event tonight. You just know Matt Olson's swing is tailor-made for the Chop House in right field in Atlanta. It's a great ballpark. It's an amazing facility after the team moved from Turner Field, which has a ton of nostalgic value for me and for my family. Truist was such a great upgrade in so many ways for the fans in terms of accessibility and the battery. It's kind of like Ballpark Village in St. Louis, but a little bit more expansive, a little bit bigger. And it's its own thing, right? It's not necessarily weaved into downtown Atlanta. It's in Cobb County. So I think that you're really going to see a fun event, a very well attended event, because there are fans of all different teams. Atlanta is one of the biggest cities in the country. But again, back to the point we were making earlier, if you're a Cal Raleigh, you can call timeout halfway through and switch sides of the plate. I think that's his biggest advantage, not necessarily because he's the best power hitter on the field at this time, which he is. You can call timeout, and if your forearm is tired from swinging left-handed, switch it back over to the right side. And I think that's what's going to cause him to have a little bit more energy and a little bit more preparedness for this particular event.
Is the pressure, though, of knowing you are so much better this season than everybody else in the competition, like, is that pressure, though, gets to you? I think we see that a lot, where the league leader in home runs goes in is expected to win, and they feel that they feel that pressure with that. And you have some guys in this home run derby that hit baseballs really, really, really far. I think MLB did put a video out there on their Instagram yesterday showing each 8 of these guys their longest home runs of the season, and just watching some of these dead center shots that some of these guys hit. I've been to Truist twice. I cannot remember, though. The last time was in 2019. I can't remember like the layout for fans, like where they're going to be for like home runs, or what that's going to look like for them. So I'm not sure where the good spots are to be for catching home runs as fans.
Yeah, it's probably the right field terrace. I mean, the Chop House is sort of this bar that's right above those terrace seats. We sat there game 4 of the World Series back in 21, and Adam Duvall hit a grand slam in the first inning. The Braves could have won it at home, but then the Astros came back and won it. It's a great place to watch a game. It really is a tremendous venue, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it's all presented, how the Braves history, of course, Hank Aaron, every National League hitter will be wearing the number 44 on their derby jersey, and then every single American League hitter will be wearing number 3 for Babe Ruth on the Home Run Derby side. So a nice little twist thrown in there by Major League Baseball to make it that much more special. It's really just a phenomenal event. And Joe, before we continue talking about our All-Star break, it is important to remind everybody that this show is brought to you by DraftKings, and baseball season is officially underway, even with the All-Star game. So we're about halfway through the season, actually. It's time to step up to the plate with DraftKings Pick 6. Think of DraftKings Pick 6 as your fastball right down the middle. It's the easiest way to play for cash and take a shot at a big win. Just select 2 or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Missouri, and more. Cash in your baseball knowledge. New players get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just a $5 entry. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Stefan, so the Pick 6 app, I mean, it's live for tonight. Like, you could go in there right now. I'm looking at it right now. And for the Home Run Derby, you can sit there and play along during the Derby tonight. They have everything. I mean, literally everything. You can sit there and you can bet more or less on home runs in the first round for each individual batter. Max exit velocity for guys. On everyone, longest home run, more or less for every one of them too. So the max exit velo, they only have 2 guys where you can pick more or less on their exit velo for tonight. O'Neal Cruz, 120.5. You can only bet more. Is O'Neal Cruz going to hit a baseball harder than 121 miles an hour? And James Wood, his max exit velo is 115.5. So is James Wood going to hit a baseball 116 miles an hour tonight? And since this game is in Georgia and I'm in Georgia, DraftKings Pick 6 is going to be my go-to for tonight for that. So can't use the regular one. Have to go with the DraftKings Pick 6 in Georgia tonight. But those, you can sit here and you can play along with all of these. So that is, that's going to be fun to sit there and do that.
Those both feel like locks to me. I think you got to take them if you can. DraftKings is such a great partner of this show. And,
121 miles an hour, Stefan.
I think he's done it in a game before. I mean, think about him wailing on a baseball. Think about him wailing on a baseball today. And how many opportunities is he going to have to do it? I mean, he's going to be swinging his skills.
Okay, so I mean, we're gonna get scientific here in this. This is also batting practice speed pitches, though.
Again, I agree. I mean, the what is it? The inertia of, hey, they're throwing it as fast as they humanly can. You're hitting it as hard as you can. There's got to be, for every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. I understand that, but I'm looking at the frame of O'Neal Cruz and James Wood and trusting, even if it's a line drive that ends up not being a home run.
That max home run exit
velocity.
Good. Max
good
home run. It is max home run exit velocity, not line drive you're hitting into the 12-year-olds out there in the T-Mobile shirts.
They should, the kids should be forced to wear like bike helmets if they're going to be out there, especially with O'Neal Cruz and James Wood.
After what happened in Seattle, I can't believe that they're still allowed to run around out there. I mean, not even helmets. Like, you need to wear the full-on like catching masks and run around out there and do that.
It builds character. It builds character. And we'll see if any kids make some miraculous catches. That's another great element of the All-Star game, especially when they're not getting hit with baseballs. Now, Joe, we are celebrating something here at STL Sports Central that we haven't quite mentioned yet. You sent us an email about it. It's a pretty big deal for all of us here about what was accomplished at this great company just a few days ago.
Not a few days ago. It will be accomplished here in a few days. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
We are a couple days away from a milestone viewership mark. We will, when that's hit with a show that's hit on, we will we will be sure to announce. I don't think Randy has mentioned it yet, but we will mention it right here that yes, a milestone viewership mark is about to be hit this week here at STL Sports Central. We have only been on the air, so we call ourselves Cards Central 3. First time I've done that in a few weeks. Cards Central 365. And
can you imagine if this was where the milestone was hit right at that moment?
We have been putting on. So this is show number 147 of Cards Central 365. We have been on the air for 140, or we've been doing shows for 147 days already, and this is we are going to we're going to hit a pretty big number coming up this week, and I'm very excited about all of that. Who do you got tonight? By the way, I'm looking at this Pick Six app, and the odds overall, like if I was back in Illinois, and the odds for O'Neal Cruz are plus 330. He has the second best odds tonight in this, and that's what I looked. That he's my guy right now. I think tonight.
I always look for who has the most repeatable swing, who can replicate their swing the easiest. And I think that because of the two sides of the plate, I have to go with Cal Raleigh. I know that's not a great pick, but also the ability to hit to all fields for James Wood is something that intrigues me. If you hit pull side home runs, you've got to catch the ball at a certain place and have the power to be able to pull it down the line every single time if you're a lefty or righty. James Wood can hit the ball anywhere. He can miss swing. He can swing late. He can swing early, and he still has enough power to drive the ball anywhere else. So I'm going Cal Raleigh 1, James Wood 2. If I had to pick right now,
I'm going O'Neal Cruz 1, and then it's between James Wood or Byron Buxton for me at number 2, because Byron Buxton has 21 home runs at the break. It just seems like every time he homers, though, it's 450 feet plus. Like every one of his home runs is just a moonshot that he hits, and that's kind of like I look at that and I really, really want to pick him to win this. Also, I think coolest story of all the storylines in it is Byron Buxton, who I don't know if you saw this when he entered the home run derby. He said he did it because his son sits and plays MLB The Show and does home run derbies on the show, and said to him, like as he's playing it, he's like, "It'd be cool if you did this and I got to be the one to run out a towel and a Gatorade to you after your round." So Byron Buxton has said, like, the only reason he's doing that is so his son can come out there and bring him his towel and his Gatorade when he's done with his round. It's just for that reason.
That's awesome. That is so cool. And again, Byron Buxton is one of those players that I don't know if you can say he's underrated, but I don't think he's properly rated.
He's one of those because he's hurt. It's because he gets hurt.
He's one of the top 10 best players in the game right now when healthy. And the players voted him the best player in the game a few years back. I forget which season it was. But, I mean, you really seem to forget about a guy like Byron Buxton and what he's meant to the Twins. He is one of the best players in the game. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he is one of those where you kind of look – I mean, Mike Trout's the number one answer for, like, baseball player you'd want to see healthy the whole time. But, like, Byron Buxton, you do wonder what kind of numbers he would put up if he played 160 games in a season at quality health.
Well, we've covered the draft. We've covered the home run derby. We'll talk a little bit about the All-Star game tomorrow. I do think we need to discuss the Cardinals at least a little bit. Ending the first half on a good note with a win yesterday. Ryan Helsley certainly had a little bit of traffic again in the ninth inning. You were sort of clenching your fists, gritting your teeth, hoping he could pull it out, and he did. That felt like a series that really the Cardinals should have won, let get away from them. 2 losses by 1 run. They had control. They had momentum at certain stretches, but you're really glad that they pulled it out in game 3 and are 5 games above 500, a game and a half out of the wild card. I was of the opinion that, again, had they lost that game and been 3 above 500 and continued to spiral down out of the wild card, you're starting to think sell a little bit more. And again, I would not profess to know what to do if I were in Chaim Bloom or John Mozeliak's seat. It is a very tough decision. The Cardinals are making it a difficult decision on them, which is a good thing, but it also makes you have to think about what you're willing to sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice assets in 2025, Or are you willing to sacrifice assets down the road? I'm curious what you think is going to happen. Now, we don't know, but you've been around the Cardinals a long time. What do you think the plan is moving forward?
I think similar to last year. I think it's going to be very similar to last year, where I do think a fan favorite, I think a regular starter is going to be traded. And last year, when Edman was traded away, I don't think it didn't hurt as much, and I don't think it should have hurt as much. And I still think to this day, Cardinal fans shouldn't be that upset about it, because Tommy Edman was hurt all last year. Tommy Edman, I don't think, was as open as maybe he should have been about some of the injuries and some of his availability was last year. And I think that probably played into him getting traded when he did. And then, sure, he goes off and he wins, the NLCS MVP. It happens. I do think, though, that somebody is going to get traded this year that's going to upset fans, but I think they're going to do it to improve this year's and next year's team. I think that whatever move, I don't think, and I say that from a point, if it's Helsley that gets traded, I do think pieces that will come back will be helpful to this team and a better than holding on to him all year and getting a comp pick for him by putting that qualifying offer on him. I think you will get more out of trading him than holding on to him for that pick. So that is kind of where I sit with it. If it is a Lars Nootbaar that gets traded, you're going to get something back to replace him that's going to help this year and next year.
And I think it's really hard to look at the Tommy Edman trade as a bad thing, right? At the time, it was a great thing. And anybody could say, well, he went and this was the type of player he was. There's no telling if he would have been that type of player in St. Louis for the remainder of last year. There's no telling. When you're inserted into a lineup with Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, the list goes on and on. It's easier to hit. It is easier to hit.
Teoscar Hernandez,
Teoscar Hernandez, who had a career year last year. You become a cog in a very, very well-working machine. Yeah. And I think that's what happened for Tommy Edman. A lot of players go to Los Angeles and they thrive. That's a credit to Tommy's skills, but also he was the right piece at the right time. Eric Fedde was a good piece for the Cardinals last year. Yes, you can talk about his struggles this year, but he was a good piece. Tommy Pham, he had some big moments. And again, a team that needed right-handed hitting, they got that. So, I think they're going to find players that have controllable interest. You have to be able to either say, hey, we're going to eat some of this contract and take on, maybe a Sean Murphy type player. I think in maybe a weird way, he might have been campaigning for the Cardinals to trade for him after his series against the Cardinals. And, having young players as well, young controllable players. I think the focus has to be starting pitching and right-handed hitting. And
wouldn't that be something if they ended up with Sean Murphy after all of the debates from 3 years ago about either you're going to trade pieces for Murphy or money for Contreras, and you end up with both of them 3 years later? That would be pretty ironic in the long run of things for that.
Yeah, this is certainly a very, very interesting conversation as to how they are going to address this. The Cardinals, I think, are one of those teams that doesn't want to mail it in. I think it is owed to the players in that clubhouse to go and give it a shot. I think they've earned that right. Now, we will see. We'll see relatively quickly how they compete against those other wildcard teams, because you haven't played the Giants yet. You haven't played the Padres yet. You still have another series left with the Phillies, I believe. So there are certainly some games that you're going to say, okay, they're in this or they're not. And there's no team in baseball that I think needed the rest quite like the Cardinals did after the way that the first half ended.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad it ended with a win yesterday. Just getting swept by the Braves to end it yesterday would have that would have been a pretty bad spiral going into the second half of the season. So, like I was telling somebody last night, they win yesterday. I'm happy. I will be less upset about it for moving forward, for the next week moving forward, than going into the second half of the year with everything.
Yeah, this is a really, really good positive outcome for the Cardinals to win in that game. I think Ollie picked one of his spots, got ejected at the right time. to really light a fire under his team. And you enter the second half at Arizona, a team that's struggling, and then against the Rockies. You can really gain some ground that was lost the last 2.5 weeks of the season against those clubs if you play your cards right.
Yeah, no, this is, again, win the series against the Diamondbacks, sweep the Rockies. The Rockies are a must-sweep series going into that second half. Has to be, right? I mean, every team has to go in there thinking that.
I agree with that point. It is a home run friendly park, as you discussed about the Derby, about maybe the projectiles that were launched toward the press area. It is really, really a difficult place to pitch. Now, if the Cardinals bats can start to launch, maybe that changes the narrative a little bit about what this offense can do. Ivan Herrera coming back is already starting to show its benefits to this club. But Joe, that's pretty much all the time that we have. There's a lot of coverage that needs to be done with the SEC, with the All-Star break, and with the Cardinals, and we'll have that all for you over the next few days. You have any final thoughts before we send it off?
Looking forward to watching some bombs tonight at Truist. Very much enjoy the first 8 batters of the home run derby, and then it gets a little boring after that.
Totally agree, Joe. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for all your coverage. This is STL Sports Central, all content provided by DraftKings and Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar. For Joe Roderick, I'm Stefan Caray, and to everyone involved, thank you for getting involved in the conversation in our show. Cardinals, second half is going to be a fun one, but we've got some all-star festivities to enjoy first.